Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. Today we are reviewing P-Valley Season 2, Episode 3 and 4. Episode 3, Dirty Dozen, and Episode 4, Demethrius, or Demethrius. I don't want to get his name wrong, I'm sorry. And so, how y'all doing? I know. You're just gonna get used to the fact that this is sporadic. This is random. I am not getting paid for this. I have a job, so that's my excuse every time that I am behind on this, because this is for fun. But I do enjoy it, so that's why I keep coming back, because I like it. I love this. This is magical. Today we're sipping on Simply Lemonade, apple juice, and vodka. Yes. How y'all doing? Yes. So this episode, both of these episodes, like I didn't just say that I was about to do two. Both these episodes were really, really good. And I enjoyed it because it kind of showed how the South, a little bit of how the South handled the George Floyd shooting. Like the regular people in the South just living their lives and experiencing, the chaos that the police has wrought upon our Black community. Yes, I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. So we start with episode 3. Then I'm going to go by character, because that way I can just get through both episodes for each character instead of like trying to go like by story. And I may mix up some of the character stories because they interact with each other. So, whatever. So anyways, we start with episode 3, Russian Roulette. I like to call her Russian Roulette. She's out here. The pleasure room is back open. She's giving a private dance. She ends up sucking somebody's dick for like a stack. And, she's not supposed to do that. It's one of Uncle Clifford's rules to not prostitute in her facilities. So, but she is. She's getting her money. And throughout these 2 episodes, you kind of see a little bit more of who she is as a person. So she's a go-getter. She's getting her money. In episode 3, it's mainly we see kind of the go-getter roulette. And she is, getting to know the people at the club, getting to know Big L, getting to know Gidget's boyfriend and stuff. And she's, doing what sex workers do. She's making a little extra cash on the side. The episode that follows, Demethrius, I don't know. And we see that the name of the episode is her brother's name. And she's experienced police brutality and trauma in the past. And when everything falls apart, there's, protesting for the police brutality. The city's getting burned to the ground and all this other stuff. She has a breakdown towards the end of episode 4 because it's bringing back the trauma of when her brother was murdered by the police. He got pulled over and he got, he got pulled over for some trumped up bullshit, talking about his taillight was out, and then they said that he had a gun, and they never found a gun, and they murdered him. And so, we see a kind of bonding moment between her and Gidget's old boyfriend. He's a runner, so he, runs drugs for Big L at the club. I think it's drugs. It was a bunch of pill bottles, because she saw at the end of episode 3, she saw the pill bottles spill out of the boxes from Gidget's boyfriend's truck. I don't know his name. So, she sees what's going on. So she's willing to keep that secret in Big L, because she got in a fight with one of the strippers in episode 4 who called her out for hoeing at the Pink. And, she got in a fight with her, kicked her in her face. Her nose was bloody. Big L tried to pull her to the back. I think she reminds him of his daughter. So he was trying to do like a little mentor situation and was just telling her like to keep on her P's and Q's and shit, Don't get caught. Don't fuck up. And so, she's kind of bonding with these people. And yeah, that's what she kind of went through in these 2 episodes. It's kind of like just slowly expanding her story. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, if you go on set Cause the witch girl, what's her name? Whisper. The witch girl, like, she could have had an expanded story, but I think, like, her only thing is she like to get high and talk to ghosts. So I feel like if you go on these sets and they give you a little background part, a little side part, you act your ass off and make that part into a character, they will put you in that fucking show. I feel it. I feel like that's what happened with Roulette. They put her in the show because she's an actress. She can act. She can make this character into something. Let's see. Mercedes, let's just get into it with her. So she out here basically trying to be the coach's mistress, and she refuses to be the coach's mistress without the wife's knowledge. So they're going to sign a contract. The coach's wife is going to be there, and basically they're going to sign NDAs and shit like that. And so we find out that Mercedes' daughter, her fake mom, Shell, the woman that was the wife of the man that molested Mercedes, and Mercedes said he didn't know that she was 15, that he didn't know, and she was in love with him, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why would a grown-ass man not ask for ID? Why would a grown-ass man not check? Why would in a small town you wouldn't know who this child was? If she looked like her daughter when she was 15, her daughter looks 15. No, I'm not giving that shit to him. Fuck that nigga. No, because I'm not about to fuck somebody that looks substantially younger than me, unless I am absolutely sure that they are over the age. I wouldn't fuck somebody younger than me, period, because that just, it just messes with my soul. But you know what I mean? You know? So, you know, her daughter is with Shell. Shell has gone back to alcoholism. And I feel like, so here's what I see happening with Mercedes. She was molested by this grown-ass man. She was the other woman in that whole situation. And now she didn't want to do this with the coach. I don't think, because she was looking all sad face when she agreed to doing this with the coach. I don't think she wanted to do this, but I think when she went and so she has a new site for her gym that she's going to, you know, put money down for. And so I think she wants to do that so that she can get her daughter and they can live happily ever after and shit. So she's basically, since her mom did what she did, she's going to go, she's hit rock bottom. She's going to go do the shit that she never ever wanted to do. And the thing is too, is that, you know, I think that she didn't want to do it because that's how she got her daughter. And that's how her daughter ended up being raised by that nigga's wife. And like, why would you want to consciously, actively repeat that trauma? So I think that's why she wanted the wife involved. She wanted to make sure, you know, that everything was on the up and all this other stuff. So it didn't feel like it was the same. But, you know, when you go through trauma, and I've talked about this before, the compulsion to repeat trauma. Sometimes we have a compulsion to repeat trauma environments or trauma situations that we had in the past because it feels safe to us. It feels like this is how the world is. So, you know, sometimes people will tell themselves that this is how the world is and this is all I deserve or whatever. And we will get back into the same situations over and over and over again. Like, statistically speaking, people of sexual assault victims are more likely, it's more likely for it to happen again. And not because, you know, it's their fault, more so that predators prey on vulnerable people. And so, and also, if you've been sexually assaulted, it's kind of like you don't want to see the signs when they're happening. You don't want to believe, you think you're being hysterical or extra if this dude is sitting too close to me or he keeps grazing my boob and he's grazed my boob for the 15th time. It can't be an accident by the 15th time, honey. You got to get up and leave. You got to walk away from that situation if you feel safe that you can, because no. We'll second guess ourselves. We will say that it's just anxiety, that this isn't happening again. And then fight, flight, or freeze will kick in, and some of us will just freeze in these situations. But mostly, a lot of it is predators prey when it comes to those type of situations too. And so it's not surprising that she's back in a similar situation that she was when she had her daughter. Even though she doesn't want to be there, it's kind of like, well, this is the way for her to make money. She's going to make $10,000 every weekend if she sleeps with the coach. So she goes to the coach's house, to condo, and his wife is there. His wife is acting shady because she don't want to be in no marriage where her nigga's cheating on her like this. She just feel like she gotta agree, probably because she feel like she can't leave, or she feel like this is all she deserves, or some dumb shit like that. And she was ready to hate Mercedes and all this other shit. And Mercedes basically like is a decent human being. Like the coach tried to brush the wife off about her photography and shit. Started talking about, oh well, your photography, you're not a professional. He's trash. And I hate how like us women are triangulated around these niggas. Like Shell is drinking again, and she's like basically drinking because of the same trauma that started all this, that he cheated on her and molested a 15-year-old child, and she had to raise that child, and she didn't want to raise that child, and it's like she's still staying loyal to that nigga even after in his death. And it's just like we're just positioned around these men and their issues. And I like what Mercedes did, because she basically took the middleman out and said, look, we both women. I am not here to step over any bounds. If you have said no to this whole situation, I would have agreed to that and walked away from it. Like, I am not here to act like you are invisible or to treat you like shit. And I love that. I was just like, yes. Fuck that nigga. He's not attractive. I hate he looks like a turtle. Like, turtle. He looks like a fucking turtle. I hate the way he looks. And she was looking at him. She came to the condo. She was looking at him in the daytime. She was all like, oh, you look different outside of the club lights. I know he looked different. His skin is all splotchy. Let me stop. That's a real person in real life. Oh my gosh. But yes, I think she's repeating trauma. But I think she's trying to be more in control of repeating trauma. But lo and behold, like, the wife thinks she cute too. She want to fuck her. And it's like, nigga get to fuck, why wife can't fuck? I don't see a problem. And watch he get mad about the whole situation. Oh, how dare you seduce my wife? Nigga, fuck you. We gonna do what we want to do. You can do what you want to do. We gonna do what we want to do. I don't understand the problem. So the wife is seduced by Mercedes. She's just looking up to Mercedes. She's just like, I've never seen a bad bitch before that just owns her shit. I've never experienced that. So she's probably lived some secluded life where she has to people please her whole life. Probably grew up rich and people told her she had to be this way and that way, whatever the fuck. And she ain't never been able to stand up for herself. She didn't want that nigga to cheat on her. She probably wanted a happily ever after marriage, just like every other fucking woman that wants to be married to a nigga, or married period, and be with somebody monogamously. So you know what? That nigga cheating, she gets to cheat too. I don't give a fuck. And so they form a little alliance and shit. And then, Mercedes' daughter calls her, and she goes over to Shell's house, and Shell is basically like, her daughter's been driving her car and trying to get food because Shell ain't buying no fucking food. She go to Patrice, and Patrice wasn't being grandmotherly. That was strategic. She gave that child 4 boxes of food when everyone is just supposed to get 1, because she wants that child to be on her side when shit hits the fan. So if anything happens where it's between her and Mercedes, she wants that child to be on her side. That's why she looked all evil in the face. Fuck Patrice. I don't care about her whole act. We'll get to her. But anyways, like, so she go over there and she talking to Shell. She hosing Shell off in the tub, her drunk ass. And Shell's just like, I hate that, I had to be in this situation. Bitch, and you didn't have to be in this situation. That child had a mother and a grandmother that could have took care of her. You know what I mean? And the fact that Patrice told her to give her to that man's wife. And apparently he begged his wife to take care of that child. So she taking care of this child, don't even want her. The girl is hearing all of this. She goes to Mercedes. She's like, so was it true that you were really 15? And Mercedes was like, yeah, but I didn't tell him. He didn't know. And it's like, yes, he did. If you looked anything like your daughter, he knew because she looks 15. He knew. I don't care. And I hope we find out later that he knew. I hope we find out that he knowingly went after a 15-year-old. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because if, like I said, if someone looks significantly younger than you, why would you not check their ID? I rarely see a teenager that looks just smack dab like an adult. Like usually there's just something where you just know they're a kid. They do something, it's a mannerism, it's something they say, you know that they're a fucking kid. He's a grown ass man. That man finessed and finagled that child. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Want to make these children out to be little seductresses and shit like that. Like these children be saying smart shit and be knowing shit when they 15 and some shit. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. And if you comment some shit down below, I'm gonna delete your. No, I don't care. That is a child. They can pretend to be an adult. They can say things to pretend, but no, I always know when a child is a child. Okay, thank you. So anyway, she hears all that and she goes to her mom. She's like, yeah, I didn't know you were 15. And Mercedes was just like, I wanted to keep you, but my mom said I couldn't. And that's like a childlike mindset to still be saying that even now as an adult. And like I said, when you don't get help for your trauma, your emotional mind stays at the age that you first experienced trauma. So for that to be the reason, it is a good reason, because she was 15 and she was a child and she felt the need to listen to her mom. But to say it now as an adult, like she said it in a way as if she was still beholden to her mom as an adult. It was just like, I don't know, my mama said that. I'm just like, because an adult would just be like, I was young and I was a kid and I had to listen to my mom and I had to do what she said. And then the girl was just like, well, but you wasn't a kid forever. Why didn't you come for me eventually? She was like, well, I started stripping and da-da-da-da. And she was just like, well, you just seem to have an excuse for everything. And she was just like, do you think the courts would have given a stripper a baby and da-da-da? And she was just like, you just have an excuse for everything. And she walks away. And I'm just like, on one point, it is valid. The courts probably would not have given her a child, and she would have been stuck in court for years trying to get her child in her custody. But on the other hand, a mother's love, because she loved that child. Because if she didn't love that child, I wouldn't even be saying none of this. She loved that child. So a mother's love will make you do some insane shit. You know what I mean? Like, I watch Little Fires Everywhere. I kind of want to do a thing on that too. And if y'all seen it, this is a spoiler, so skip ahead. But if y'all seen it, that Asian woman went and kidnapped that baby because it was her baby. That was her fucking baby. I was like, yeah, bitch. When she took that, I was like, yes, get that baby from that white bitch. Evil ass motherfucking bitch. She will make a life for her child. She will do everything she can to make a life for her child. Fuck that white woman in her life. She could have adopted her child, adopted another one. Go through the proper channels and adopt you a child. Shit, nobody told you to do foster care. Why are you doing foster care when you could just adopt a child? See, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's another show, another time, another thing. Anyways, I'm just like, I am kind of pulled towards her daughter. I'm just like, why didn't you fight harder? You fighting so hard for this gym, harder than you fighting for your daughter. You could just go to court and try to get custody, but you trying to build but I can kind of see, because she's trying to build up a foundation that's reputable, so when she does get her child, they can't say that, oh, you're just a stripper and da 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 da. And it's like, but then you could have went to court and said that nigga molested you because you was 15. Statutory rape is still a thing. I don't care if she said she was 21, 22. She was 15. Statutory rape is illegal. And this is like some underhanded like agreement or whatever the fuck. No, I would have. You could have had a case. Mercedes could have had a case, but she was a child. She didn't know, and her mama is a narcissist. So whatever, girl. So anyways. The whole situation happens, and then like we kind of dwindle on Mercedes, part in the 4th episode. Like she fuck around with the whatchamacallit. I hate fake titties. They was just, them titties was just, both of them. Them titties was just standing up. And because Mercedes has muscles, it's not like no sag to them. It's like they stand, and then you can see the roundness of the titty, and it's hard looking. That's what it was. They titties look hard. This has nothing to do with mental. Maybe it has something to do with my mental. I was just looking at this girl. I was just like, they titties look hard. I wonder if they like just boom bounce. Because they just look hard. I'm sure they're not hard, but they look hard. And I was just like, I couldn't get into the sex scenes. I was just like, oh, they titties is hard. But yeah, they fucked, and this woman left her like 4-5 stacks of cash and shit. I think like 4,000. Excuse me. Ooh, that was yes, $40,000. I don't know how much. It was some stacks. And then she was like, I hope we get to do this again. And I was just like, okay, girl, well, get it, Mercedes. Shit, go off, sis. Right. And so, she dwindles down till we get to the final scene at the Pink, where we find out Haley ain't shit, ain't been shit, ain't gonna be shit. But we're not going to act like that nigga, Demethrius, Chlamydia, whatever the fuck his name is, didn't abuse her. We're not gonna say that she wasn't abused by that nigga though. Okay, that's all I'm saying. We're not gonna be on that nigga's side, cause fuck that nigga. But anyways, let's get to Haley. So Haley out here trying to swindle and swipe, and she really wants $10 million for this club. She wants $10 million for this land, and if they can come up with $10 million, she will give it to them, and she doesn't give a fuck. That was the whole gist of these 2 episodes with Haley. Like, the only thing extra was she's still sleeping in the club, and she scared of the pleasure room because that nigga in there about to strangle the fuck out of her. She stepped one pinky toe up in that motherfucker.
Oh, laugh at the wrong shit.
He shot me in my pinky toe.
I know, man.
I'm gonna put what's left of my foot in your ass. I'm gonna kill him, sugar.
Please.
My pinky toe. Oh, my pinky toe. Y'all don't know where that's from. It's from Harlem Nights. Maybe I'll put a clip. I don't fucking know. So she's still sleeping in there, and basically she hooked up with Andre at the end of episode 4, talking about. And the thing is like, people's peripheral visions don't work, because I would have been able to see from my peripherals.
Dog, I'm not telling you to stare at nobody. I'm telling you to use your peripherals. Now look at me. See?
Yeah.
Look, see? I'm not looking at you. No. I'm looking.
You're looking at her?
That whatchamacallit, Clifford and Mercedes, somebody was in that window. When they panned back with you could see them in the window. It was obvious. There was these big ass heads in the window. So anyways, she's sitting here with Andre. We'll get to that nigga Andre. She's sitting here with Andre, and she's like, I'm gonna sell this motherfucker. Like, how we gonna keep this shit open anyways? This ain't some high class strip joint, Vegas type shit, nigga. No, this is prime property. I'm gonna sell it for $10 million. Divvy the money out. Get the fuck on and shit. And you know what? It's fucked up because the thing is like, you's a underhanded bitch. She out here trying to get her money. That's all. They've primed her as the villain this season. I don't know. Like, was she always the villain? I don't know. Like, she always been sneaky and secretive. That's why she a sneaky bitch. That's what's the problem. She a sneaky bitch. And so you was never sure if she was like Catwoman, like if she was like a good person that was just trying to get away from this crazy nigga that was trying to kill her and beat her. And yeah, she stole money from him, but fuck him, because he was beating on her and her child died in the hurricane and shit, and she got away and now she's free and shit. No. Or if she's like Catwoman, she in the middle, she an anti-hero and shit like that. Or if she just an evil, sneaky bitch. We don't know. The thing is, if they cancel the show, like, if they sell the Pink, do they cancel the show? Because the show is about the Pink and the people at the Pink. Like, how we gonna continue? It's giving me, what's that show? I'm gonna figure out the name of that show because the drama in it kind of feels like the stories. You know, like the stories, like Guiding Light and As the World Turns, shit like that. It's giving me like that type of drama. Just like, is we gonna expand the story out into Chuckalisa and just make the whole city like, you know, some shit? You know, I don't know. But like, I didn't get too much as far as like mental health off of Haley. I'm just oscillating between them three options. Is she innocent? Is she Catwoman? Is she a evil, dirty bitch? I don't know. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, we got Clifford. She out here just trying to keep the club together. Like this bitch that was in the first season came back and she was dancing and doing all this stuff with this one girl, and the bitch took her mask off and she let the girl take her mask off and the bitch sneezed. Oh, just because it's gross. Not even just because COVID. This is nasty. It's like the bitch been having allergies and shit, but everybody looking at her crazy because that you let her stay in the club. Like, this is how seriously unserious people were taking COVID. It's like, well, bitches gotta make money, so as long as, you know, we'll just put the mask on, and, you know, as the night goes on, the mask come off, we'll just act like nothing's happening because it's not as big of a deal, because, you know, whatever. We need to make our money. So this bitch gonna just shoo all up in this bitch face. That was nasty. And the bitch just goes off. She's just flipping. And apparently she's the health inspector or the whatever inspector for COVID for the county or whatever. So she shut that shit down for 24 hours. She said, you got to get the HEPA filters. Everybody in this motherfucker got to wear masks. So Clifford been throughout these 2 episodes just trying to maintain the pain. Trying to keep it open. Because niggas ain't wearing masks. Clifford ain't enforcing shit. Alcohol is running. Nobody's paying attention to nothing. And so, yeah, it's one of them situations where you just gotta be like, well, they kept that shit open, so, you know, they didn't say nothing until that bitch got sneezed on. So, you know, like the first episode was Clifford just getting the pink together and, you know, having word battles with Haley about, you know, the money and who owns the pink and how much they own and what happens if we get $10 million. Because in the first episode, Clifford, weren't you talking about too, if Haley got that $10 million, how you could take $3 million of it and go do such and such and whatever the fuck? You want that money too, nigga. Shut the fuck up, bitch. So why you going, as soon as you hear that Haley may be negotiating outside of you changing everything up? I guess that makes sense though. You negotiating outside of me though, nigga. You can't just be out here. We was talking amongst us and then you X me out of a conversation. I could see. But yeah, it was just them keeping the pink open. It was her keeping the pink open and stuff. And then at the end, when she find out Haley was trying to shiest her and shit, she was just like, fuck you, bitch. And Mercedes popped up out of nowhere. And she was like, fuck you, bitch. And it was like, fuck you, bitch. And then it ended. And then, like, who else? There's no mental health stuff on whatchamacallit, what's her name? Uncle Clifford, because she's still pining after Lil Murder. We'll get to Lil Murder though. I think that's the main story. Like everything else, because some shit happened in episode 4. That's the main story right now. I'm just like, everything else is just like, you know, the main stories I see is Mercedes and this coach situation and her daughter, because what's gonna happen there? Haley and the pink, it's a cool little storyline and shit, but no, what's gonna happen to Mercedes and her daughter and the woman and the coach, and what's happening there? And Lil Murder and his whole situation with Teak and this road trip they're having. It's like a fucking road. It's like we're on the road again. They're just bumbling along in a fucking hearse on the road. So, anyways, who's next? Let me see. I did roulette. I did Mercedes. I did Haley. I did Uncle Clifford. I guess we can get to Little Murder because I talked about it. So they on the road, right? And Teak, okay, I didn't know who the fuck he was, who his name was, why they was picking him up. So he's a security guard from the jail. He used to be in a gang with Lil Murder. They still in the gang apparently. See, this is when I saw that whole scenario in the first episode where Lil Murder and all of them was performing and doing the road trip, and then like we find out, like I found out, y'all probably already knew, I don't know, that Teak was in the gang. And other nigga from the rival gang comes to the club. They get into some dumbass fight out of the club over some bitch. I'm confused. Man, I need you to, especially with these episodes, man, I need you to go to therapy. I'm not saying that the shit that was happening in episode 4 wasn't traumatic for Teak. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there are better ways to handle how that was triggering for you. Like, I feel like he probably shouldn't have came on this road trip after being in jail and being in the hole for however long he was in the hole for. I feel like this is not the type of job where your mental health can sustain moving from place to place and having to be on and get up and pack up and can't get a good night's sleep. There's no structure. You need to, when you leave jail, you need to still be in a lifestyle of structure, and then baby step your way out of that structure. You can't just go from, I have my whole day scheduled by these people over here for 20 years every day, 24/7, and then I get out of jail and I have to do everything, and there's no schedule. I have to figure out a schedule. And it's like think of it this way. It's like when kids come off a summer vacation, they can't get to sleep. They don't want to go to school. They got low-key attitudes for at least the first month of school starting. They got to rev that shit up and get that shit back together. Like, if I were to go and get my MD like I want to do and be a psychiatrist, too bad I can't with the dead bodies that you have to cut up in anatomy class because it's a gen ed requirement for this shit. I'm not like, why you gotta cut up dead bodies to be a psychiatrist? It's not fair. Like, I don't know. I know I should get over the phobia. You get over the phobia of cutting open dead, but you cut open a motherfucking dead body. Nigga laying there looking at you. But let's say happenstance, I was able to get over that fear and go serve 10 years of my life in med school and residency, just to sit and do the same thing I'm doing now, but just be able to give meds and just have the knowledge of how the meds react in people's bodies and stuff. That's what 10 years. Go off. I wouldn't know how to get back into the groove of school. It would take me a minute. I don't even want to write a paragraph. What? They want you to sit up here, write dissertations, and I can barely I want to write a book. My patience doesn't have the time. My focus isn't focusing. Like, even just the thought of writing the book makes me feel like, let me be real. Like, these videos, most of it is me procrastinating, having a lack of focus, and also being extremely busy with work. So, it's, like, if I was one of them top YouTubers getting $10,000 a month, by that time I would need to have a team because I still wouldn't be able to focus. I'd be like, you want me to sit down? Like, I need the structure of my job. Go to work this day, this day, this day. Work from this time to this time to this time. Just because I can focus on structured things. It's easy to focus on structured things because it's a routine. You just do it all the time and you don't think about it. But unstructured things is just like this is I'm just talking. I don't write a script. Most of the shit I type down is just notes so that I can remember what happened in the show. It's not what I'm actively going to say. And these YouTubers are all be talking about, I write scripts for every video. Sounded like Shakespearean, and like they know what they're saying and quoting research shit. I'm glad I remember some research shit just from college and from just watching documentaries when I'm bored and shit, because if I didn't know some shit, I would be sitting up here like, is she just pulling this shit out of her ass? Like, Where's her, research for all these things she's saying? But it's like, no, I just, it's the unstructuredness of it. And then it's like, it's just, So if I can barely pull myself up, if kids can barely pull their self up after summer, why would you think that a man getting out of prison after being in a hole for 15 years would be able to go on an unstructured road trip across Mississippi and be a bodyguard on top of that? So we're adding violence, random acts of violence that could possibly happen at any time. Why would you think that this person would be mentally ready? Get him a fucking job in an office typing something. Just memos and shit all day are like, put him in school. That's just very structured. It feels like you're in jail again. It is. I don't care. I don't care what the fuck school feels like. Jail. I've never been to jail. I wouldn't 100% know. This is just from watching a bunch of documentaries and realizing, like, look, they just get to leave. And the children get emotionally abused. You know how many children clients I've had that have said that their teachers have called them stupid because they're of color and, like, they don't get the greatest grades? They're not getting the greatest grades because you're telling them they're never going to go to college. Why try when someone's telling me that I'm never going to succeed at anything? Like, I'll give up too. Like, everyone's telling me I'm a failure, so it validates negative things I think about myself. So then I will not try because I'm validated from within and from outside. So, it's like mentally, it's like jail. It's like... So I felt like it was jail. If I wasn't good at hyper-focusing on shit, I probably would not have gotten through school. I probably would have got F's. I probably would be homeless right now, yes. The only thing I can give myself is that fear made me hyper-focused because I saw the other kids that weren't doing that great and how the teachers talked to them and made them feel less than. And I was like, I don't want them talking to me like that. I don't want them saying shit. I don't want them rolling my eyes because I am stuttering over this paragraph that they've given me to read. Like, I don't want that. I don't want them to bother me. So I'm going to get good grades. Like, it wasn't my mom. My mom was chill. She was chill. She was just like, she didn't pressure me about school. She was chill as fuck. It was them teachers talking to them kids like they was crazy. Them kids being in 10th grade stuttering over a fucking, paragraph that was just like first grade reading. And me and them teachers looking at them like they were crazy. And I'm just like, Fear fueled me to get good grades. So you trying to tell me that this nigga can keep himself together on this, but they don't know. Black folks don't be knowing. A lot of us don't be knowing because psychology was a white man's game for many, many decades. They ruled that shit. And when they ruled it, we had people in, mental hospitals that were being tortured. They would do science experiments on people, and that's how we have most of our psychological theories today, because they were doing science experiments on people that they felt were beneath them. That's how we have most of our medical theories today. So, even when they ruled it, I could see why a lot of our elders think therapy is trash, and it's like pulling teeth or pulling something that's really hard to pull. And I could see like that is a frightening fear of medical stuff. And you want me to go and talk to some random person about my feelings when I can't even talk to myself about my feelings? Horrible. It's no excuse though, because if you're out here hurting people, then like, fuck you. I don't care what you went through. You're hurting people. Like, so you've crossed the boundary. Like, if you're I don't think it's good to be isolating or hurting yourself or anything like that. But it's kind of like people in that situation have to work to a point where they can get out of it. Okay? I give you space and time to work through that shit till you can get to a point to get help. But these motherfuckers out here are hurting people because they feel bad inside. And they need to get the fuck out. They're the Jeffrey Dahmers, the Ted Bundys. the Patrices. Get the fuck out. Yes, I said what I said. I don't care. Anyway, so this nigga is out here tweaking, and like Lil Murda is out here like trying to figure. So in the first episode, we try to see him figure out like, oh, am I gonna like send Uncle Clifford this postcard? And Keyshawn like helps him write the postcard because he was writing stupid shit on the postcard. So he finally sends it to her, and it says, "You look good in red." Okay, girl, what you could text, call. And then Uncle Clifford eventually texts him like in the fourth episode, but still, it was just kind of like, it's like when niggas like you break up and they send stupid shit to you, or they come up to your house talking about they left something and it's like a pen. I left my pen. Oh my gosh, I would slide that thing through the mailbox in the door. I would throw it out the window over the balcony before I let you into my I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It was like one of them. I was just like, okay, she looks good in red, magical. Anyway, so they get in this fight at this club on their first little performance and shit. And I'm just like, you know what? This is how Young Thug and Gunna ended up in jail. This is how these niggas be still in that hood life even after they become rich and famous, because you maintain these nigga friendships and you do favors for these nigga friends, and then you end up with a potentiality of getting 20 years of life. No. After I saw that jail show where they were talking through the toilet.
Yeah, I'll be talking on the toilet. It's fun, but it's better talking to the boys than these raggedy ass girls all the time. Hey, boy.
And they were saying that they can smell the shit from the toilet, and sometimes the fumes from the toilet get on their face, and then they have extreme acne on their face, and as much as I am into my skincare, like, bitch, I'm glistening. I've gotten to the point where I glisten. And you want me to put my face over a toilet to talk to some nigga? The audacity. The nigacity. Fuck that shit. I just be like, why? Why would you risk to be in filth? To be like, to have higher rates, to be in a place where there are higher chance that you will be sexually assaulted. Girl, the thought of that ever happening to me just makes me, something inside of me folds. I will do anything and everything to never be in that situation. I will snitch on you. I will go to jail for no one except for my child, and it would have to be some justifiable shit. Not that you are a serial killer or a child molester or you're a rapist. I will have to let you go to jail even if you are my child, because I am not about to have, no. I'm not about to be a part of more people getting hurt. I can't do that. That's just not who I am. But you know, like you get pulled over by the police for a tail light, and they say you got drugs in the car. No, my child does not do drugs. No, be rich enough to get the best lawyer. You will not be in jail. These lying white bastards. So I'm just like, that's how these niggas end up in them situations. And that's probably a part. There's probably other parts and other pieces, but why? I'm curious. I know it's a compulsion. Even when you know why, it's just, there are some things that you would just think that, but people ain't even afraid of death. And I'm just like, but death, there's like an end, but that's just like a continuous like living hell. Like, I don't want either, but it's just like there's an end to one and there's a continuous living hell to the other. They was talking through the toilet, y'all. And she said she had acne on her face because the fumes from the toilet, the shit and piss and E. coli's and funguses was messing up her skin. And I can't, compulsion to repeat trauma. Some people feel safe in jail because of the structure. They're not used to being out of jail because they've been in and out. It's a place to live. Even reciting these things and knowing why. So you still just do hood rat shit, risk your life, risk your freedom just because of trauma. Like, this shit is fixable, y'all. You can fix this. This is I promise you. I promise you. What do I have to do to help people? Because people's out here risking their freedoms because of past trauma. The fumes from the toilet. And she said it with a smile. Like, it wasn't that bad. She was like, well, it's just the consequences of talking to my boo.
Oh my gosh, like, this is so cool. It's like having a cell phone.
What has happened to us as a human race that we have upped our levels of how much torture and pain we can take every time some bullshit happens to us? Well, I went through this. I can go through that. I went through this. I can go through that. I went through this. I can go through that. I'm upset, bothered, disgusted at just the way this is society. This is how society and the system. This is white supremacy. Maybe it's like epigenetics.
Is their first response is, oh my God, that happened so long ago. We're talking about people being captured, shipped, sold, beaten, raped, experimented on. And then you have to ask the question, did the trauma continue? Yes. So 300 years of trauma, no help, freed. No help, more trauma.
So you know how like trauma can be passed down genetically and shit like that? Maybe like because black folks and people of color have struggled so much since colonialism, we're just like fine with pain and shit. Like a lot of us probably are. Like, we're fine. And then white folks, they got epigenetics too. So they're just like fine with inflicting pain. That's like feels normal to them. The compulsion to repeat trauma, it just feels normal. I'm upset. I'm upset, y'all. They out here taking away our rights to have babies and shit, to abort babies and shit. So you just gonna let a little 9-year-old they got molested by some bastard just have a baby? It's not funny. It's just like you just have to. It's like hysterical laughter. It's like you just have to just shake your head and just stamp your foot and these niggas is out here risking that over some bitch in a cause she wanted to talk to Lil Murder. I'm upset. I had to get it off my chest because that whole situation, that whole scene pissed me the fuck off. Oh, anyways, so that happened. Let me move on from this because this is gonna fuck with me for a minute. So that happened, and then like Keyshawn ain't doing nothing. She just be singing and like she be having like little flashbacks because like Teak went off. So as we go through these 2 episodes, Teak is slowly like getting more and more agitated. Sorry. And he was like trying his best to look as crazy as mouth. And these motherfuckers was just sitting around acting like, Teak, you just tripping. Because he's hearing about this police brutality. And I guess that's how he ended up in prison for police brutality. And somebody filmed him or some shit. And it's triggering his PTSD. This reminds me of that Khalif Browder nigga. God rest that young man's soul. God rest his mother's soul. Like, that man never found... Like, he was arrested at 15 for some bullshit that wasn't real. Thrown in a hole for, like, most of his prison sentence. Like, it's in isolated darkness. No one else is around. Like, you can't you can't be isolated for long periods of time as a human being. That will give you psychosis. That'll give you mental health shit. That's just, you can't be alone with your own thoughts for a long period of time. You can't. As we're social creatures, y'all. We can't. And so he was in there from 15 to like, I think it's 20 or some shit. Got released and bullshit got released. And like, he was never the same. Never the fucking same. Like, that nigga ended up, God rest his soul, he killed himself. And then his mama, she had a heart attack, and it was just some horrible shit. And his dumbass bitch ass dad like sold their house. And this is bullshit. Like, this nigga was slowly escalating throughout these 2 episodes, and like nobody fucking noticed till he fucking snapped. Because he was trying to listen to the riots and shit, the protests and shit on the news. It wasn't riots, it was protesting, because this is what has to happen for change to happen. When Roe versus Wade was passed, that was because they was blowing up senators' houses and shit. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just saying, like, them riots happened in 2020. The cops got cameras on them now. It ain't no huge change to stop the shit, but at least we have more evidence and footages to sue these I don't know. I'm trying to grasp at the straws here that he did something. And so this nigga's just escalating throughout these 2 episodes. And I'm just like, y'all, are you paying attention? Are people noticing that he's escalating? And then finally he snaps because this nigga Rome keep turning off the news. So Rome is dealing with this murder of this black man by these evil ass police officers by avoidance. He's trying to act like it's the black dude's fault. He's trying to avoid because he can't deal with it. He doesn't know how to deal with his emotions around this whole situation. And this nigga Teak is like, why you keep turning off the news? I'm trying to hear what's happening. Bop, 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 bop. And so, like, finally Teak just snapped. And then they had picked up Gidget earlier. Like, so Gidget was there to hang out with whatchamacallit, Keyshawn. And Gidget gonna get up in it, just full white woman. I don't care. She was a Karen. You see this nigga is escalating and his friends are trying to calm him down. Why are you getting involved? Not friends, but the people he with. Why are you getting up in this man's face and saying, I'm not scared of you, what you gonna do? And if he had snapped your neck like a twig, because he looked like he wanted to, I don't care, then what? What was the reason? Fuck. I'm glad Keyshawn made her leave. She said Keyshawn was sitting over there having flashbacks to her nigga who beats her because he's trash. And she didn't know what to do when that nigga smashed that table. She didn't know how to feel. Like, I love how they are showing that black people feel things. Because in, like, let's say it's like a hood show or some shit like that. Like, shit like this will happen in a hood show, a gang movie, or some shit like that. No one is really getting sad or traumatized by the displays that are going on. Like, everyone is just, I'm hoard and I can take this shit. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna shoot this nigga, and then you shoot the nigga and walk out, and then you're fine. You're perfectly emotionally fine, right? Okay. But no, in this shit, they like, oh no, I don't know how to deal with this. And they show these black men not knowing how to deal with certain emotions and falling apart and all this other shit. And I'm just like, yes. Magical, yes, I love it. I loved it. And so he having a whole attack, like he just can't handle it. And then finally, instead of breaking that white girl's neck, as he should not have done, I don't think that I'm just saying, what was the reason? But he's like, he walks out and he walks into whatchamacallit's room, Lil Murda, and they end up fucking. Before they fuck, he's having like an emotional breakdown. He's like, they don't, I wish I was never born, and they don't care about black people, and it don't matter what type of nigga you are, if you the president nigga, if you the nigga in the street, whatever type of nigga you are, we still just a nigga, and they don't care about us. And I was like, yes, right. So He having some, and then the nigga come up to him, put his head on, and then cried. It's magical. I love that scene because I was just like, yes, all niggas need to cry. You can go to therapy. Go to therapy. Anyway. And then they fucked. And I was just like, oh shit, this nigga gonna find out about Uncle Clifford and murder this bitch. He's not sane. He's not all there mentally. He cannot handle his emotions. I feel like, because he found out about Uncle Clifford, because in the morning when Little Murder was waking up, whatchamacallit was sitting on the windowsill, and he was like, he was holding a postcard Little Murder had for Uncle Clifford. He was like, shit was funny though, because he looked so hurt. He looked so hurt. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that really hurt your feelings. He was like, you ain't never wrote me no postcards when I was in jail. I was like, oh, that poor baby, he's so hurt. And he gets up and he walks out, and the Little Murder's just looking like, oh, what to say or what to do? Like, what? And I was like, this nigga, they gonna get back to Chuckalisa, and this nigga gonna murder Clifford. I don't care. I mean, maybe he keep his shit together. Maybe that was just his trigger, the police and shit. Maybe he keep his shit together around other shit. Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes we like get pushed over the edge by one specific topic, and that topic or the environment or whatever around that topic comes up, then we snap and we go and we do things that we don't mean to do. And then like, but other shit that like should cause conflict and problems and issues, they may not bother us as much. It's sometimes though, because a lot of times people can't deal with any type of conflict or any type of pain at all. They can't even deal with being sleepy, girl. And they just be going 0 to 100 over everything. So it depends on the person. I don't know. I feel like he gonna kill Uncle Clifford, or he gonna attempt to, or he gonna fight that bitch. Whatever happens. Yes. Anyways, that's kind of how we end there with them in bed, or him walking out, and then everybody in the hearse looked upset. Keyshawn upset because she had to deal with that shit. Rome had told her he was gonna fire Teak. He was gonna get dude to fire Teak, and Keyshawn was like, "Oh no, don't do that." That was the abused person in Keyshawn that was saying that, because no, Teak needs to be fired. Teak needs to go home. Teak needs to find a good therapist and a very structured job, hopefully, that he can get, because niggas that come out of jail, you know, they don't be, you know, the world is a horrible place. You can't like, how you gonna put somebody out of jail being in a very structured environment, and then they're in poverty, and they have to figure out how to make money because nobody wants to hire them, and then they just decide to go back. What else are they gonna do? See, this is just a cyclical, and it's set up that way. It's set up that way on purpose. I don't care. It's white supremacy. Horrible. And so anyways, let's get to Andre. Okay, so Andre has decided that he wants to run for mayor at Chuckalisa. The old mayor left him his house. That's his campaign quarters now. Whatever, girl. His wife has been calling, asking when he's gonna be back to Atlanta, and he's like, "Oh no, the will reading got pushed out, and I had to do this." So apparently he wasn't lying, but still, fuck that nigga. And so he gets home, and his wife is cheating on him with this doctor that has been around this whole time. And I'm just like, okay, you shouldn't cheat. You should not cheat. It's wrong to cheat. I just don't like that nigga, and how he's been emotionally abandoning his wife for the past 2 seasons. And it's like, she shouldn't have cheated. She shouldn't. It's wrong. But it's like, you've seen him emotionally abandon her, right? Like, he emotionally, like, you see what emotional cheating looks like now, right? Because what he did with Haley last season was emotional cheating. Yes, it was. And how he was just so emotionally distant from his wife, and she was just like, you wasn't sniffing up under her, you wasn't trying to sleep with her when she came to visit you in Chuckalisa because you was out there for so long for that casino shit. You left her in the room to go talk to Haley, and then like, she jacked you off or whatever the fuck she did, and you nutted, and then that was it. Like, you cheated first. Your wife Bennett, she got a scar. She found a job for you. You have been moping around jobless during the pandemic. She found a job for you with her dad. Her family ain't been seeing you as shit this whole fucking time. And, you know, she wanted her to marry the doctor that she was sucking dick with. And it's kind of like, what's that show? It's like Different Strokes. A Different World. When Jasmine got married, was gonna marry that rich nigga. There's nothing wrong with that rich nigga. This nigga wasn't even trying to be with her before. And then they had all these issues afterwards. And it's like, this rich nigga would have given you a stable relationship, but you wanted some rocky shit. And I know, you know, people, you know, you gotta pick who you want to pick and shit. You gotta pick who you want to and shit. But if everybody in your life is telling you that this nigga is something ain't, you know, everybody in your life, family, friends, you know, something, I would just take a moment to think about it. You know, why is everyone in my life, are they only mentioning the fact that he doesn't make as much money as me? Because money is a part of the package, y'all, because especially with niggas, because society pushes into niggas so much that their worth is only in their pocket, that, you know, if they don't have money, that shit is connected to their mental health. Just like society pushes into women that our looks are the only thing that gives us value. So since we've heard that from birth, our looks are tied into our mental health. And so that's on the mental health platform is why money should be a part of the package. Somebody one day wants to buy a house. We want children, we want a car, we want to travel. I'm not going to be the only bitch paying for that. I will not try. I have known comforts. I have known Korean bathhouses in different countries and luxuriated in things. I'm not going to give that up. I'm not going to go backwards. I refuse. I refuse to be stressed out. You're not going to take me back to that place of trauma. I don't care. I want it. I want what I want. So, money is important. But, you know, she didn't listen to them niggas. She bought the house. Her dad bought the house. He didn't buy the house. Because he said, so you just gonna be something that couldn't afford to buy you a house. Yes, nigga. This is where we're going to raise our children. Little people that are going to go out into the world with their own little personalities and do things and change things if we raise them right. Why the fuck wouldn't want a husband that can buy us a home for our children? I'm set. Shit, for us. We're going to grow old here. You know, is it going to be comfortable for us to grow old here? Or is it going to be like some bullshit? You know, mold everywhere, plumbing's broken, you know, roaches. Like, I will not go back to that. Refuse. So it's a part of the package, along with other things. Emotional stability. Like, I need you to be emotionally stable. Because niggas can have money and then be narcissists or sociopaths and keep you in a basement city that they built just for you and the basement children that you'll have. I think that these two things are very important. They need to both be there. Not one is missing. No. You know, and then other important, honesty, loyalty, kindness, all those, they need to be there. And, you know, etc. There's more, but, you know, we don't need to do all that. Those things need to be there. So I'm confused as to why it's bad if she had listened to the multitudes, it sounds like, of people that had told her. Maybe you just want to sit and just think 10 years from now, if, you know, the person he is, the personality he has, if those things have not evolved like you're evolving, because you work on yourself and go to therapy and you do the things to keep growing and evolving as we should, because that's what human beings should be doing. We should not be stuck in any way in the same place. Yes. So if he has not evolved at the rate that you are evolving, Where does that leave you in a relationship? And I just feel like, you know, it leaves you having a grown child in your home. And that's why he was sitting upstairs playing video games. Yes. While she was the basement wife. Yes. Because nothing's wrong with video games. I play video games. Yes, they're marvelous things. But I am not going to have a basement husband and be sitting up here playing video games while my husband's in the basement. Like, I'll be checking on him at least once every couple hours. You know, just like, hey, babe, just want to see if you're okay down here by yourself. You want to play a video game with me, the online thing? Like, what if you shower real good? Maybe you can come upstairs. Something, I don't know. It just seemed like, you know, he was on his video games all day to the point where he didn't even put almond milk in the refrigerator. So that evidence leads me to think that he rarely, if ever, checks on his wife. And I would be upset. I would be bothered. I probably wouldn't cheat because, like, I don't like to do shit that makes shit worse. Because, like I said, I refuse to be stressed. I'm not going to be stressed. And being sneaky is fucking stressful. I'm not maintaining because niggas are emotional. It's like you got this nigga that you just cheating on and fucking around with. And that's all it's supposed to be. Like, if I have to cancel suddenly, you should be fine with that. Because, no, like, this is... If I shut this shit down and just end it out of the blue just because, you should be fine with that. Like, because we're just fucking around, you know? Like, I feel guilty now and I want to stop. Like, you should be fine. Like, there's no emotional attachment between us, so it should be fine, right? Like, this is like, there's rules, but like I can do what the fuck I want to do, right? No. These niggas get emotional, you know, as they should. If you with somebody and you feel like you like them, like, you know, niggas get emotional. And they want to be like, I want to proclaim my love on your front lawn with a boombox at 5:00 in the morning in your nice neighborhood. Because you told me that you just wanted to end it and I cannot do that. I'm just like, oh, okay. So no, I do not want her to cheat. I would not cheat. But I could see the process that led her up to cheating. And I hope she gets her whole moment where she has like a soliloquy and she can just be like, I loved you and you weren't there for me. I just want it. I don't care. I don't care what y'all think. I said she shouldn't have cheated. I don't know what she has a scar. She has a scar on her nose from the face masks. I would be the type of bitch that would be researching ways to heal that shit quickly and cause the least pain and shit to put into her mask so that it might lessen the impact of it. Just, you know, that level of intense love, maybe it's too much. Maybe, you know, because I wouldn't be spending my whole day doing some shit like that. I would just notice like, oh, babe, you got some shit on your face. And then he would be like, yeah, it's from like the hospital and shit. I've been putting aloe vera on it and shit, but it ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I'll be like, oh, well, let me look up some shit. Maybe I can find some shit. And I'll look up some shit for like 15 minutes. I'm like, look, these masks have this and blah, blah, blah. And then I'll go about my business and watch anime. See, it's not crazy. I went through the scenario. It's not crazy. This nigga's not doing enough. And so that's just how I feel, and it's fine. That's fine. You know, I hope he leaves her and she is free to be with the doctor and have a smooth, happy life and whatever. Yes, God bless. And he trying to like be shiesty with Haley too and shit, because she's trying to be a boss bitch, and he trying to be the mayor, and he's like, if Haley wanted to, she could be the most powerful bitch, and blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, Patrice, that's the last one. Yep. Patrice out here with her church doing her thing. She's trying to combat with the mayor. I hate his hair. I don't know what's happening with that. It's like a slick back and then it curls up. Is that like a style in the South? Like, this is a legit question. Like, cause is that like how white people have their hair? Like, is it? Cause I at first I thought it was like a little like mini ponytail. Cause it looks cinched in on the sides a little bit, and so I was just like, all you need is a little barrette, and it. But she's trying to fight with the mayor, and she mad because the mayor wants to bring the casino into the town, and she don't want the casino. She's running for mayor. And she was like all hyped up during the protest, and she was just like, we're gonna fight and we're gonna be angry and we're gonna blah blah blah, we're gonna do. And I was just like, this bitch is a narc. They love that shit. No, because what happens is you have these woke narcissists that will preach all the right things, say all the right stuff, and then in secret they're doing these like nefarious things with and having victims. They might be like embezzling money and doing all this other dumb shit behind everybody's back, but in your face they're like, yes, and people should, and Black Lives Matters, and blah blah blah. So fuck this bitch. She's not real. She's fake. She stole that gem from her daughter. She ain't shit, and I hope her world comes crumbling down. But yes, this bitch did act though. She was just like walking around talking shit. I ain't that bitch, and da 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 da. And I was just like, yes, bitch, act. I was just like, yes. I was good. That was good. But yeah, she doing the same shit, and that's it. Yeah, she's just running for mayor. I don't know. I don't think she's going to win, because if they clean up Andre, because he looking kind of raggedy and shaggedy still. If they clean him up, get him a nice suit. His cheeks are sunken in, but if they give him a nice cut, he'd probably look good. He could be he could have a running, especially because he was like the godson to the other mayor. So I think that he would be more of a competition for that white dude than Patrice. But Patrice got like church following, and she handed out food. So I think her votes will be pity votes. I don't know. The black community is funny because she's involved with the church. I don't know. We gonna have to see. So that's it for this evening. I rambled. I tangented. I talked about things. I hope that you enjoyed. And, let me know what you think about the show. We are 4 episodes in. I'm not sure how many episodes it's supposed to be. But we are 4 episodes in. And, like I said, I think the main story is Mercedes, Lil Murda, and the Pink, and then Patrice, like in that order. Cause it's all connected. Cause if Patrice becomes mayor, she could shut down the Pink. If the white dude becomes mayor, they all want to shut down the Pink though. Like all of them. Like Andre wants to shut down the Pink so that he can open a casino too. Like I don't see. Patrice would just shut down. She would be less likely, I would say, because she doesn't have any financial gain from shutting down the Pink, because she doesn't want to open the casino either. So she would just like shut down the Pink and not have a casino. What is that like when they on that scale of like neutral, chaotic? I don't know. I can't think of it. But anyways, yeah. I don't know. What y'all think is gonna happen next? Okay. Later days.